Welcome, brave souls. Today we delve into the dark side of online dating with 5 real-life, hair-raising stories straight from the depths of Tinder. Sweet nightmares. This happened a while ago, but the memories are still fresh and the fear still lingers. So let me take you back to that fateful night. I swiped right on this girl named Emily and we instantly hit it off. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and we had so much in common. It felt like we were kindred spirits, destined to meet. We decided to meet up at a trendy bar in town, hoping to turn our online connection into something real. As I walked into the bar, my nerves ran high. I spotted Emily sitting at a corner table, her eyes locked on me with an intense gaze. She had a magnetic presence, a mix of beauty and mystery that drew me in. We exchanged warm greetings and delved into a conversation that lasted for hours. As the weeks went by, we continued to explore our connection. But as the initial excitement settled, I started to notice something unsettling about Emily. There was a certain darkness lurking beneath her charming exterior. She would occasionally make cryptic remarks about her past, alluding to a troubled childhood and a series of unfortunate events that shaped her. One evening, Emily invited me over to her apartment for a cozy movie night. I arrived at her building, a looming structure that seemed to hold secrets within its walls. The elevator ride to her floor felt like an eternity, a chilling anticipation building with each passing floor. When I stepped into her apartment, I was immediately enveloped in an eerie atmosphere. The room was dimly lit, with flickering candles casting elongated shadows across the walls. The air felt heavy, almost suffocating. A sense of unease settled in the pit of my stomach, but curiosity got the better of me. Emily led me into her living room where an old-fashioned projector sat in the corner. She excitedly explained that she wanted to show me something special. The room grew darker as the screen came to life, projecting a reel of old family photographs. The images that flickered on the screen sent chills down my spine. They were pictures of me, captured in intimate moments, completely unaware that I was being watched. How had she obtained these? Why had she been documenting my every move? I confronted Emily, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger. She tried to brush it off, claiming it was an art project or a misguided expression of love. But her explanations only deepened the sense of dread within me. I knew deep down that something was seriously wrong. Determined to unravel the truth, I began to dig into Emily's past. I discovered a trail of darkness, tales of obsession, and unsettling incidents involving her previous partners. It became clear that I was just another piece of her twisted puzzle, and the danger I had unknowingly walked into was far greater than I could have imagined. Terrified for my safety, I ended all contact with Emily and sought the help of law enforcement. But the nightmare was far from over. I started receiving anonymous messages, each one more threatening than the last. The sender knew details about my life that only Emily could have known, leaving me in a constant state of paranoia. Every shadow seemed to hold a lurking figure. Every noise in the night sent shivers down my spine. I changed my locks, installed security cameras, and took precautions to protect myself, but the fear remained. I was haunted by the realization that I might never truly escape Emily's dark grip. To this day, I live with the scars of that harrowing experience. The world of online dating had exposed me to a horror I never thought possible. It serves as a chilling reminder that behind the glossy profiles and charming conversations, there can be a darkness that devours the unsuspecting. Let me introduce you to Sarah, an enigmatic woman with an aura of mystery. Her presence was magnetic, drawing people in with a combination of allure and secrecy. When I matched with her on a dating app, I couldn't believe my luck. We quickly developed a connection, and our conversations were filled with excitement and shared interests. As our bond deepened, I couldn't help but notice that Sarah seemed guarded, as if concealing a dark secret. She would often trail off when discussing her past, avoiding direct answers with a melancholic smile. It was evident that there were hidden depths to her, a shadowy side she was reluctant to reveal. One fateful evening, Sarah invited me to a secretive gathering at an exclusive club nestled in the heart of the city. Curiosity consumed me, and I couldn't resist the allure of an adventure with her. Little did I know that this invitation would plunge me into a world of unimaginable horror. As I entered the club, the atmosphere was suffused with an eerie energy. Dimly lit corners housed shadowy figures engaged in hushed conversations. The air was heavy with secrecy, a palpable sense that something illicit was taking place within those walls. It sent shivers down my spine. I soon discovered the true nature of the gathering, a clandestine operation orchestrated by a ruthless organ trafficking ring. Panic gripped me as I realized the depth of Sarah's involvement. She confessed that her loved one, her sister, was battling a life-threatening illness. Desperate to save her, Sarah had made a Faustian bargain, pledging her own participation in the trafficking ring to secure funds for her sister's transplant. Together, we found ourselves ensnared in a treacherous dance, determined to bring the criminals to justice and expose the twisted underbelly of their operation. Days turned into weeks as we collected evidence, navigated dangerous networks, and meticulously planned our next moves. Each encounter with the traffickers amplified the lurking danger. We treaded a fine line, always on the verge of discovery. The tension was unbearable, the threat of exposure looming over us like a dark cloud. Our hearts raced with each step, fueled by adrenaline and the desperate hope of dismantling this nefarious empire. Finally, the day of reckoning arrived. We tipped off the authorities armed with a trove of evidence that would expose the trafficking ring. But as the raid unfolded, chaos erupted. Gunshots pierced the air, mixing with the desperate cries of both victims and captors. Panic gripped the labyrinthine corridors as the two sides clashed in a battle for survival. Sarah and I navigated treacherous paths, slipping through hidden passages, and narrowly evading capture at every turn. The flickering lights cast grotesque shadows on the walls as we stealthily made our way deeper into the bowels of the operation. Fear gnawed at our souls, but our determination to bring justice pushed us forward. At the heart of the operation, we witnessed the unspeakable horrors inflicted upon innocent lives. Rows of makeshift surgical tables stained with blood, sterile tools of torture, and cries of agony filled the air. It was a scene that would forever be etched into our minds. With the odds stacked against us, we fought valiantly, driven by the conviction that we were the voice of the voiceless. The battle raged on, each moment teetering on the precipice of life and death. But in the end, we emerged battered yet triumphant, leaving behind a shattered empire of evil. The victory was bittersweet, as the scars of the experience would forever mark our souls. Sarah, burdened by guilt and remorse, retreated into a life of seclusion, haunted by the darkness she had witnessed and the choices she had made. As for me, the horror became a haunting memory, a constant reminder of the unfathomable depths of human cruelty. It all began when I matched with a girl named Emma, a seemingly ordinary connection that spiraled into a nightmarish descent. Allow me to take you on this twisted journey. From the moment I swiped right, Emma stood out. Her profile was captivating, with her piercing blue eyes and a captivating smile. We started chatting, and her wit and charm drew me in like a moth to a flame. We quickly progressed from small talk to deep conversations that made me feel like we had known each other for ages. One rainy evening, we decided to meet for our first date. I arrived at the designated cafe, heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and nerves. And there she was, Emma, with her radiant smile and an air of mystery that intrigued me. As our relationship blossomed, I couldn't help but be drawn to Emma's enigmatic nature. She had an uncanny ability to keep me on my toes, dropping hints of a past filled with secrets and personal demons. I was simultaneously fascinated and unnerved by the glimpses into her troubled history. The more time we spent together, the more I noticed peculiarities about Emma. She possessed an almost uncanny intuition, as if she could read my thoughts. She would bring up topics we had never discussed, eerily anticipating my desires and fears. It was as if she had unraveled the deepest corners of my mind, leaving me feeling exposed and vulnerable. But it was during a weekend getaway to a remote cabin that things took a chilling turn. Nestled in the dense woods, the cabin exuded an eerie atmosphere, the creaking floorboards and whispers of wind outside amplifying the feeling of isolation. It was the perfect setting for what was about to unfold. As the days went by, I noticed a change in Emma's behavior. She became distant, lost in her own thoughts, as if battling unseen demons. Strange occurrences became the norm. Objects moved inexplicably, and I would catch fleeting glimpses of shadows out of the corner of my eye. One stormy night, as rain pounded against the cabin's windows, I awoke to find Emma standing at the foot of the bed, her eyes vacant and unseeing. I called out to her, but she remained motionless, her presence unsettling. It was as if she had been possessed by something sinister. Overwhelmed by fear, I tried to leave the cabin, only to find that the front door had mysteriously locked from the outside. Panic set in as I frantically searched for another exit, but all the windows were securely shut. The realization dawned on me. I was trapped in this desolate cabin with a woman who seemed to be teetering on the brink of madness. As the night wore on, Emma's behavior grew more erratic. She spoke in hushed tones, uttering cryptic phrases that made my blood run cold. The air became thick with an oppressive malevolence, a tangible darkness that seemed to seep into my very soul. Days turned into a blur of unease and terror. Sleep-deprived and on the edge of my sanity, I hatched a desperate plan to escape. In the dead of night, when Emma was lost in her own troubled dreams, I managed to break a window and flee into the unforgiving wilderness. As I stumbled through the forest, branches clawing at my skin, I could feel her presence lurking behind me, the echoes of her whispers following my every step. My heart raced, fueled by equal parts fear and adrenaline. I knew that even though I had physically escaped, Emma's influence still lingered, an inescapable haunting that would forever haunt my dreams. Emma never contacted me again, me neither. It all started innocently enough when I matched with Veronica on a Tinder. Her profile exuded an air of mystery and allure, making her irresistible. We began exchanging messages, and she captivated me with her enigmatic charm. Our conversations were filled with intellectual debates, shared interests, and a mutual fascination for the unknown. As our connection deepened, Veronica started revealing fragments of her past, a past that involved a mysterious cult she had once belonged to. She painted vivid pictures of rituals, esoteric beliefs, and the dark allure of a life beyond the ordinary. Her stories were like a siren song, drawing me closer to the edge of an abyss I had never known. Curiosity consumed me, and against my better judgment I agreed to meet Veronica in person. She suggested a secluded cabin deep in the woods, an ideal setting to explore the depths of her mysterious past. The moment I stepped foot in that forest, an eerie atmosphere enveloped me. The dense foliage seemed to whisper secrets, while the rustling leaves carried a sense of foreboding. Veronica, standing at the cabin's entrance, looked ethereal and slightly unnerving. Her piercing eyes held a hypnotic power, and her voice echoed with a mixture of seduction and danger. She led me inside, and the air grew heavy with the weight of countless untold stories that clung to the cabin's walls. Within those walls, Veronica unveiled a hidden world. She showed me relics from her time in the cult, ancient manuscripts, eerie symbols, and faded photographs of hooded figures engaged in enigmatic rituals. The cabin's walls were adorned with cryptic writings, a testament to Veronica's deep involvement in the occult. Night fell and the atmosphere grew more intense. Veronica beckoned me to partake in a ritual, a ceremony she claimed would unlock hidden knowledge and open doors to realms beyond comprehension. Fear and curiosity waged war within me as I struggled to make a choice that could forever alter my fate. With trepidation, I agreed to participate. The room was bathed in candlelight, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Veronica, dressed in ceremonial attire, chanted ancient incantations that reverberated through my bones. The air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and I could feel the veil between reality and the unknown grow thin. As the ritual unfolded, a sense of dread washed over me. Whispers filled my ears, and grotesque visions danced at the edges of my consciousness. In that moment, I realized the horrifying truth. Veronica was not seeking enlightenment or the pursuit of knowledge. She aimed to ensnare me, to tether my soul to her twisted desires. I broke free from the trance, my heart pounding in my chest. I fled from the cabin, the sounds of Veronica's anguished screams echoing through the night. But even as I distanced myself from her malevolent grasp, the terror followed me like a relentless shadow. Veronica refused to let me go. She bombarded me with messages, threatening to expose my deepest fears and darkest secrets. Her words dripped with malice, and it seemed as though her influence extended beyond the confines of the occult. I lived in constant fear, never knowing when she would resurface or what depths of darkness she would sink to. To this day, the scars of that encounter linger. I've become hyper-aware of the hidden dangers lurking beneath seemingly ordinary lives. The boundary between the mundane and the supernatural has blurred, forever etching a sense of unease into my very being. Remember, dear listeners, that sometimes the most enticing enigma can be a mask for unspeakable darkness. Be wary of the depths you dare to explore, for some secrets are better left undisturbed. It all began when I met Olivia on Tinder. Her enchanting beauty and charismatic personality made it impossible for me to resist her allure. We quickly formed a connection, and our conversations were filled with shared dreams, passions, and a sense of adventure. Little did I know that beneath her captivating exterior, a sinister darkness lurked. Olivia lived in an exquisite mansion that exuded an air of opulence and mystery. She invited me to an exclusive gathering at her lavish residence, a seemingly harmless invitation that would plunge me into a nightmare I could never have anticipated. As I stepped through the grand entrance, I was immediately greeted by an unsettling atmosphere. The mansion's corridors were dimly lit, adorned with intricate artwork that seemed to depict scenes of darkness and despair. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows that danced upon the walls, adding to the ominous ambiance. Inside the mansion, I encountered Olivia's associates, a group of individuals who exuded an air of danger and secrecy. Whispers filled the air as they spoke in hushed tones, discussing matters that seemed to teeter on the edge of legality. The sense of foreboding grew stronger, but curiosity compelled me to remain, unknowingly stepping into a conspiracy that would change my life forever. Days turned into nights as Olivia skillfully manipulated me, slowly drawing me deeper into her world. She crafted a narrative of exclusivity and belonging, making me believe I was part of an elite group bonded by shared secrets and ambitions. But behind the facade of camaraderie, a malevolent plot was unfolding, one that involved kidnapping and a relentless pursuit of ransom. One fateful evening, as I bid Olivia farewell and stepped out of her mansion, a group of masked assailants descended upon me. Before I could comprehend the situation, I found myself overpowered, blindfolded, and forcibly taken to an undisclosed location. The ordeal that awaited me was beyond anything I could have imagined. Days blurred together as I languished in a dimly lit room, my only companions the haunting echoes of my own thoughts. My captors were ruthless, employing psychological tactics and physical threats to break my spirit. The air in the room grew heavy with fear, and every passing moment was a stark reminder of the danger that surrounded me. The kidnappers demanded an exorbitant sum of money for my release, their voices laced with menace and desperation. Fear gripped me, but within the depths of despair, a flicker of resilience burned. I resolved to escape the clutches of my captors, to reclaim my freedom at any cost. In the midst of darkness, an opportunity presented itself. A moment of distraction, a temporary lapse in my captor's vigilance. Summoning every ounce of courage, I broke free from my restraints and fled into the labyrinthine corridors of the hideout. Every creak of a floorboard reverberated through the silence, threatening to expose my presence. With bated breath, I navigated the treacherous maze of the kidnapper's lair. Shadows taunted me from every corner, and each step forward was a calculated risk. Adrenaline surged through my veins, propelling me onward as I sought a path to freedom through the suffocating darkness. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, I burst through a door and into the night air. The cool breeze caressed my face, a stark contrast to the confinement I had endured. I ran, fueled by desperation and the unwavering determination to leave this nightmare behind. The moonlit path led me to safety, but the horrors I had witnessed would forever haunt my soul. In the aftermath of my ordeal, the truth began to unravel. I discovered that Olivia, the woman I had trusted, had orchestrated the entire conspiracy. She had colluded with the kidnappers, motivated by greed and the promise of a hefty ransom. The revelation shattered any remnants of trust I had held, leaving me with a deep sense of betrayal and lingering questions about her true nature. The scars of my abduction run deep, both physically and emotionally. Nightmares continue to plague my sleep, and the world has become a more uncertain and treacherous place. Yet I refuse to succumb to the darkness that once enveloped me. I strive to rebuild my life, drawing strength from the resilience that emerged from the depths of despair. Remember, dear listeners, that not all masks hide benevolence. In the pursuit of love, adventure, or even friendship, remain vigilant. Sometimes the most enchanting personas harbor the darkest secrets. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of our spine-chilling journey through the twisted world of Tinder. 5 haunting tales that will make you question every swipe, every match, and every seemingly innocent conversation. But don't let the fear consume you just yet. There's so much more to explore on this channel. With our channel, the thrill never ends. Every video is an invitation to uncover the mysteries that lurk in the shadows, to embrace the unknown, and to face your deepest fears head-on. So if you're ready for more heart-pounding excitement, hit that subscribe button and join our community of brave adventurers. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a spine-tingling upload.